Alright folks, welcome back. Today we have the stats leaked for a new tank called the Kunze Panzer. It's a special tier 9 German medium, likely for next year's frontline, steel hunter or rank battle mode. But as you can see, it kinda looks like a Leopard prototype-ish of a design. The hull is more German, the turret is more Russian-esque or Polish-esque, rounded. But it does have a special gimmick, and that is it has a manually operated siege mode similar to the S-tanks for the Swedes. So if you press a button, it takes about 2 seconds to switch into siege mode. You get better accuracy, better gun elevation and depression at the cost of speed and maneuverability, as well as, surprisingly, a 33% cut in DPM. Whereas the S-tanks never get a DPM cut. Originally it had a DPM boost on the super test server, but that was deemed way too OP, so never got a DPM boost. This thing gets a DPM cut. I don't know, but it's a special gimmick similar to the CS59 or CS63 actually. Only the tier 10 Polish medium gets the special rushing mode into battle before you get into place or something like that, but this thing does not have the turret armor similar to the slope armor of the S-tank to bounce a few shells, but it does have a turret, so I guess it's okay. So for this video, we'll take a look at the initial stats. Obviously, it's the initial stats. It will likely get changed, so take it with a grain of salt, yada yada, but we'll take a look at all the pictures too. So it has an MG42, the old buzzsaw, and it kind of looks like the rear end of a Mutz Panzer 58-ish of a design, slope backwards-ish, with the exhaust filters on the both ends. But German mediums, there are a lot. You have the T55A and the Panzer 50T as a tier 9 special medium as well. So a lot of special mediums, and premium mediums are a bunch too for the Germans. A lot of premium mediums. But let's take a quick look at the stats. So I'll pause the video, or you'll pause the video to take a better look. But it has a 105, crew of 4, fits almost all the German mediums. The stats on this page is not as transparent, so we'll take a look at the better comparison page. But it does still have the same layout for the equipments, speed boost for the special slot, and 2 more. So likely you'll put turbocharger and optics and then rammer likely. But let's take a look at the better stats in terms of this page. So it has a L7A1 German version, 268mm of pen, 0.42 accuracy, 2.7 seconds of aim time. This is for the non-siege mode, obviously, but it has pretty decent DPM though. Well, then again, good DPM like the Patton usually has about 2,700, but that's still pretty good. 610 horsepower engine, weighs about 31 tons-ish of a carrying capacity, traverse about 42 degrees per second, so rather quick. No armor for the turret, 63, and 53 for the sides and rear. No armor, 400 meters of view range. It's a sniping medium, has no armor, so similar to the Leopard prototype. But there we go, here are the main stats. So penetration is similar to the Panzer 50T, which is very good, and it has more alpha for the 105. Let's see. Turret traverse is faster than the Panzer. That's good. Reload slightly slower than the Panzer, but has more alpha. 15 degrees of gun depression. That's likely for the siege mode. I'll show you guys all the full stats with the different modes coming soon, but don't take this for the actual value. So these are all mashed up into one page. It has the less health of all the tier 9 special mediums, so only 1600. It's a sniper medium. DPM is rather high, even higher than the T55A, holy crap. In non-siege mode, DPM gets cut dramatically in siege mode. Top speed of 65, reverse of 23, very quick. Horsepower per ton ratio is also very decent. Not in siege mode, about 22. That's rather decent. The best camo out of all of them, even better than the Frenchie, the Char Future 4. And view range is also good. So yeah, initial stats are decent in terms of mobility, but it has no armor, so don't take a hit, obviously. But here is the translated version of all the stats. So zoom in on the picture. Oh, zoom in, what the hell? Zoom. There we go. Nobody can read what the hell you're talking about. So blah blah blah. Kunze Panzer, German, tier 9, special. It has the siege mode by button, so manually operated button for the siege mode. So unlike the Swedish medium tanks, the UDES 15/16 or the STB, this does not automatically switch into it. You have to press a button and carry out manually, like the tank destroyers, like the S tanks. It initially is tilted 5 degrees forward. Oh, you get 15 degrees in siege mode, whereas you get 10 degrees in non-siege mode. It's a special reward tank, likely for ranked battle mode or frontline or stuff. But takes 2 seconds to switch into siege mode. Takes 2 seconds to switch out. It's not automatic. Gun depression is 10 degrees without siege mode and 15 with. And you get better elevation-ish in siege mode. Dispersion on movement is max. You can also dispersion on rotation. Okay. I mean, accuracy shooting while moving is kind of bad because 0.15, that is like 50% worse than 0.1. And 0.1 is about the average. So, oof. Spread on turret, not as bad. Accuracy without the siege mode is 0.4. With the siege mode is 0.29, which is great. Aim time is 2.6 seconds, which is rather long, but in siege mode it's only 1.7. It gets a DPM cut if it's in siege mode, which is surprising. So originally it takes about 9 seconds to reload the gun, whereas in siege mode it takes about 13 seconds to reload the gun, which is insane. DPM cut is about 33% or more, so 2600 DPM to 1800 DPM. That is a fairly big chunk of DPM. And you also have high explosive, but whatever. Horsepower gets reduced, so horsepower per ton ratio gets reduced from 22 to about 15 while in siege mode. Holy crap. Top speed is 65, only 30 in siege mode, reverse of 23, reverse of 17. So project of medium tank with the forward tilted turret rotation axis and placement of the entire crew in the turret, developed in 1964. It's a paper tank. Special category, mobility. Oh, that's for the equipment. You get a mobility equipment boost. So I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, it's a special gimmick, so I mean, it's not super high explosive. You don't have that much more penetration, only 53. Gold shell is a high explosive anti-tank, only 300 millimeters, so rather lackluster compared to the normal penetration of the APCR, which is 268, which is great. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this special gimmick. I mean, I have almost all tier 9 mediums, and the firepower in siege mode seems like the same accuracy and the same dispersion as the normal Leopard prototype, but the Leopard prototype could just go anywhere it wants without running around in siege mode. So here's a better garage for the screen. So as you can see, it gets 8 degrees of gun depression, quick aim time, good accuracy, very good accuracy, and very good DPM with the ram and stuff. But it doesn't have to be in siege mode, whereas the Kunze Panzer need to be in siege mode to get all the benefits of the gun, whereas it gets a cut in terms of DPM to 1800. That is insane. 1800 DPM in siege mode is not the best. Or is the 1800 cut? Yeah, 1830. That is insanely low for the DPM cut. Holy crap. But it has no armor in siege mode. Whereas if you're in siege mode, you can actually bounce shells for the Swedish tank destroyers. So switch to Swedish tank destroyers. This thing has slope armor and some heat shields, grids, to block the high explosive anti-tank shells, even though it doesn't do squat. But yeah, this thing has slope armor. Same goes for the premiums as well. This will bounce all 90mm and below, yada yada. But the hell? I don't know. I mean, it has no power in the siege mode. The buffs to the accuracy and dispersion is not that dramatic when you think about it. Not really compared to the normal Leopard prototype or even the E50. E50 gets the same accuracy and dispersion and even more DPM at the cost of penetration, obviously. So you still have gun depression too. Same goes with the Patton. Patton gets insanely DPM, but I don't know. I mean, that also goes for the Kunze Panzer 50T. I mean, this thing also has the gun depression and the accuracy and the aim time. This thing actually has turret armor and upper plate armor, whereas your Kunze Panzer don't even have armor. You have the special gimmick. I mean, vehicles like all of these have accuracy, aim time, DPM, but they also have the armor to back it up, and they're not that slow too. This thing has about 21.83 horsepower per ton ratio, moves at 55. It's not a slow medium. It will keep up, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the Kunze Panzer. I mean, maybe the special gimmicky mode will give it some benefits, but I don't know. I mean, when you think about it this way, the Polish medium, which I'm very close to getting the tier 9, waiting for the discount, but the Polish medium has the DPM aspect without the armor aspect of the medium tank gameplay. So similar to the CS53, this vehicle has a lot of DPM, almost 2500 at tier 8, which is insane, but the aim time is long, the accuracy is but that goes for the crew. So their power is getting to positions, getting to key positions, and DPMing the crap out of opponents. It has no armor though. Turret armor sucks on this vehicle. You think this is like a T44? It's not. Same goes with the tier 9. The tier 9 CS59 has no armor for the turret as well. But the main job of this vehicle is to get into position and get the DPM working. So with the 105, this thing has dramatically high DPM, like 2773 base without the rammer. That is insanely high. And this penetration is also not bad, 252. So this thing will pump out a lot of shells. The downside is it has no armor. So, and the accuracy sucks. And the aim time is long. But if you're close range, then sure, who the hell needs accuracy or gold or normal shells? You just use gold shell. So I don't know. The tank feels like you get into sniping positions really quickly, but there are other tanks that do the same job just as effectively, right? The good parts about being this vehicle is its penetration and the accuracy and aim time. But then again, you have the same stuff with vehicles that are better than it, which has armor, such as, you know, the Kunze Panzer 50T. And that's why I love this vehicle so much. It's such a good mix of armor with sniping capability. And it has view range too, like insanely high view range as well. But this thing has the same upper plate as a T10 heavy tank. Side armor is crap, whatever, but still. This thing has the penetration, even though the alpha is not as high. It has the accuracy, the aim time, the DPM. Doesn't need a siege mode. So I don't know, it's a special gimmick of a medium tank, siege mode, switch and stuff. I don't know how you justify the siege mode. I mean, you run around better in terms of playing as a tank destroyer, I guess. I don't know. Did they show the siege mode time? Yeah, 2 seconds switch into siege mode, 2 seconds switching out. They won't display all the actual stats, but there's a DPM cut in terms of siege mode. So I'll put the link to the Watt Express page leaking all the stats. They have been leaking stats for about 5, 6, 7 years. So they're pretty trustworthy in terms of all the leaked stats, but then again, it's still initial stats, so they could change it, obviously. So originally for the S tanks, they get a DPM buff while in siege mode. So that never happened. Otherwise, they are too OP. They get like 4,500 DPM or 6,000 DPM in siege mode at tier 10. That is insane. You kill 2 mouses in 1 minute if you manage to pin all the shells, which is not gonna happen. That was the original super test stats, but yeah, take everything with a grain of salt with this. But as for the vehicle concept, it's interesting. Well, it has a siege mode for a medium that's not automatic like the UDES or the STB. So leave your comments below on how you feel about this vehicle. So obviously I hate to do JPEG videos. This is more of a JPEG video. It shows off all the JPEGs without the actual model. I cannot see the actual model or the armor profile, but then again, it has no armor whatsoever, so we can only talk based on pictures, but hey, still a vid. So here is the list of all the tier 9s candidates currently in the game. As you can see, this one has not been complete, so we will not count the Cobra in terms of stats. The WZ-120 GFT, this is like the 1 GFT but with a bigger superstructure. It's already been in the game files for a long ass while, so I highly doubt this will be a reward tank. Also, it has premium status, so this is mostly for the Chinese server, so you don't get a tier 9 premium. That doesn't work like that. You cannot make more credits at tier 9. That's illegal. So I'm guessing it's likely the Lorraine 50T, which we already covered, or the Object 752 with the autoloader. I don't feel that elated or super excited about this thing. It's basically a UDES 03 with a turret. So the turret does not have armor. It's not as crazy as, I don't know, the UDES 16. So not super excited about that one. As for the Kranwagen Centurion turret, this thing is a monstrosity. I don't think it's that good. It's a heavy tank though, even though it's a medium. It's a Kranwagen hull with a Centurion turret, so not super excited about that one. But yeah, I'm thinking the Lorraine 50T as one of the options for frontline, and either the Object 752 as an alternative choice. This is maybe for rank battle mode, whereas the Kunze Panzer is the Steel Hunter reward or some other reward. But I don't know. So leave your comments below on what you feel about this vehicle. Obviously, stats will likely change or not, and there are a few more processes to go through. But thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.